Next on Worcester News tonight, a Catholic group heading to D.C. to demonstrate. We'll hear from the bishop and why many are marching for the right to life. Plus, the Best of Business Awards, more from the reception tonight in Worcester. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Indrioli. We begin with a crime committed by a Worcester man. He is charged with assaulting an employee at a New York airport. Authorities believe 57-year-old Robin Rhodes harassed and assaulted an airline employee at New York's JFK airport Wednesday night. The employee was wearing a hijab and sitting in her office when Rhodes allegedly came up to her door, made explicit remarks, and kicked her in the leg. Rhodes is awaiting arraignment in Queens criminal court on several charges, including third-degree assault as a hate crime. And area Catholics are planning to take part in Friday's March for Life. It's the largest pro-life rally in the world, and a large group left Worcester by bus tonight. Our Cam Jandro spoke with some before they made the trip to Washington, D.C.
Hundreds gather at the Cathedral of St. Paul in Worcester for Mass. Roughly 150 area Catholics will be heading to Washington, D.C. to take part in the March for Life. Bishop Robert McManus says the Catholic Church is clear on their stance regarding the sanctity of human life.
That life is a gift from God, and that no one has the right to take another person's life, especially at the vulnerable beginnings with abortion or the vulnerable ends with euthanasia.
This year marks the 44th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court case giving women the right to have an abortion. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to walk, and some say it's nice to see the issue getting attention.
It's nice that this year we're seeing more coverage of the march and making people aware that, what a gift life is. And I think to look at a newborn baby, you can tell this is a human being.
This is what we believe. This is what's good and true, and we stand for that. It's peaceful. It's just here we are. We're joyful, and we want to protect the innocent.
The diocese claims more than 57 million lives have been lost since the Supreme Court decision. Bishop McManus says although Roe v. Wade happened decades ago, it's important to see younger generations starting to take a stand against abortion.
When I was growing up, for us, the civil rights movement was the social justice issue. And for many of our young people, Catholic and non-Catholic, the civil rights issue now is the protection of human life.
We want to be the generation that abolishes abortion. It's really good that so many young people are so into it. And
now this group is just one of many from the state of Massachusetts heading down to the nation's capital to participate in the Walk for Life. The buses have left and they will be driving overnight to participate in the walk, and they're expected to arrive back in Worcester around 2 or 3 o'clock Saturday morning. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester businesses were recognized tonight during a special reception at the Beechwood Hotel. The Worcester Business Journal held their annual Best of Business ceremony, awarding local businesses for their success in the community. Among those receiving accolades were the sole proprietor and Pagano Media. Many enjoyed the event with co-workers and business partners. Worcester Business Journal CEO and publisher Peter Stanton says it's great to have local businesses come together and to be recognized for their hard work in the Worcester community.
We're able to honor, I think it's 43 total companies here, and it's great recognition for those firms. It's fun for us because we get to have a party, and I think for readers, they get to see businesses that are executing really well. I think the fact that Boston's booming is great for Worcester because the cost of doing business in there is so high. A lot of folks who might be looking at Greater Boston have sort of discovered they have significant opportunities in Central Mass.
A new sign hanging in Worcester City Hall welcomes all to the city. The city saying Worcester is home to 38,000 immigrants from dozens of different countries. This all coming at a time where President Donald Trump is making executive orders to build a wall on the border with Mexico. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the details tonight.
Worcester's been a welcoming city, for over 100 years.
A new sign displayed at City Hall welcomes all to Worcester. The city's official Twitter account tweeting today, Worcester is proud to be home to 38,000 immigrants from 85 countries.
We care about people here in the city of Worcester, and we're going to have their back going forward and make sure that the people are protected here and they don't feel like they're under threat.
The sign reads, the city of Worcester does not discriminate in its programs and activities. Worcester is not a sanctuary city like Boston, but Mayor Joe Petty says city police won't enforce federal immigration laws.
We're going to do what we can do to make sure people are comfortable and feel that they're respected and feel that their families will not be rounded up and sent back to wherever they came from.
President Donald Trump says he will build a wall along the Mexican border and crack down on illegal immigration, a priority not shared by some Worcester leaders who want people to feel comfortable here.
When you have people living in fear, who are good people, and who are basically trying to make their lives better, who are under persecution from the countries they're coming from.
Now that sign reflects all of the population of the city of Worcester and how we are a city with many, many different ethnic groups.
Pascal Iowel is the executive director of African Community Education. He says this country is built on immigrants and people are fearful of what will happen.
I keep telling them to have hope that things are going to work out in their favor, that their family will join them.
Iowel says the new sign gives hope to refugees and immigrants in the city.
Make me safe. I know that someone got my back.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
There was an anti-Trump protest today in East Boston. A banner was held at the entrance of the Sumner Tunnel, the banner reading "A Day Without Immigrants" in Spanish. Protesters later took the banner to nearby Maverick Square. The group says their mission is to get permanent protection for the millions of undocumented immigrants in the United States. The Worcester Public Schools superintendent says she is concerned about the rising cost of advanced placement exams. Maureen Benendez says federal funding to the lower cost of tests for low-income students has ended. The exams are usually $93, but with the help of aid, some students have only had to pay $19.
National test, which shows that students in gateway cities and urban centers can do as well as students that are not from gateway cities. So it's a great indicator of rigor and performance.
And students will now have to pay College Board's reduced fee of $53 per test. Benenda worries some of the many students registered in classes will not be able to afford the exam.
That we had last year over 1,900 students get the reduced fee for taking the advanced placement classes, and that the federal government was not providing that support this year is concerning for me, especially for gateway cities where students really can't afford to pay for that test.
Benenda has been looking for additional solutions to lower the cost and says hopefully Title IV funding can be the answer. They're thinking spring at the Worcester Art Museum this week. Flora in Winter begins today, featuring various floral arrangements all over the museum. Our Andy Madison has a look at this year's display.
It's a flower arrangement that'll make you do a double take.
The one behind me is really beautiful. I guess because it's so big and grand, and it's really gorgeous.
All types of flowers on display as art at the Worcester Art Museum. 24 arrangements part of Flora in Winter. Each display a variation of a portrait, a painting, or other works of art at the museum.
I think it's okay. I don't think it's my best, but it's certainly colorful.
Some designed by professionals, others done by those who just have a passion for floral arrangements. Mary Fletcher put this one together based on an object instead of a painting.
I just looked for yellow, delicate flowers. I wanted a few big enough that they would pop and make the arrangement look halfway decent, and the rest of it I wanted to be kind of airy and fragile looking.
Thursday kicked off the 15th year of the Flora in Winter program. Displays run through Sunday, an event which also serves as one of the biggest fundraisers for the museum. Displays that draw thousands of people every year for a look at creative displays which turns flowers into art and has visitors seeing double.
I think every year it gets better.
It's so beautiful to see what can be done with flowers, and even dead leaves. I mean, you think, dead grape leaves. What can you do with dead grape leaves? A lot. It's neat.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.